Welcome back to the Infinite. So in about 20 minutes, I will be leaving here to drive to the Apple Store to pick up the Apple Vision Pro. So originally I was gonna do a whole big unboxing and, show the whole process and everything like that. I've decided not to do that just because there are already really great videos that cover that exact same thing. I would recommend checking out MKBHD's video, for example, on the unboxing experience because it's really well done, shot super well, it shows the whole process. So I'm gonna link that down below. But for me, I'm just really excited to be at the Apple Store. I'm gonna do the 30-minute demo at the Apple Store that they can lead you through when you pick up your headset, or you can schedule one starting next week to go check it out. But I'm gonna go pick it up at the App Store, I'm gonna bring it back here, I'm gonna start using it. I will provide a comprehensive review later on, but today I will be recording some first impressions and putting those up on the channel. So let me record some things before I go to the Apple Store just to talk about a little bit what I expect the Apple Vision Pro to be, and then we'll see if it lives up to expectations. First of all, I don't expect this to be a perfect product, okay? This is a first generation product, but in a lot of ways, it feels like the launch of the iPhone. When the iPhone came out, it had basically, if you look at the technical specs, every reason to fail. Way too expensive, it was carrier exclusive, people didn't think a digital keyboard could work, it didn't have any apps or app store, it had some pre-installed apps but no app store. It, on paper, did not look great. And even Steve Ballmer, who was CEO of Microsoft at the time, famously mocked the iPhone by saying,
$500 fully subsidized with a plan? I said, that is the most expensive phone in the world, and it doesn't appeal to business customers because it doesn't have a keyboard, which makes it not a very good email machine.
And his opinion was not unique. Many people thought that this product would flop. But the thing that I love about Apple is that they have a way of doing things that you cannot describe on a tech sheet, that you cannot describe with technical specifications. It's a magic that you just have to kind of experience to know what it's like. And when people first used the iPhone, it was one of those experiences that just kind of changed the perception of what a smartphone could be. And obviously it went on to shape what smartphones are now and what people spend hours each day on. The device that people spend hours each day using, all of this was shaped by the iPhone. And to me, the Vision Pro feels similar in a lot of ways. It's not, honestly, the first VR headset. Meta's been doing this for a while. Other companies have been doing it even before Meta. I mean, we've heard of things like Microsoft HoloLens, Google Glass. All of these things have been around for a while now. But when Apple comes to the market, they do it in such a way that there's just something special about it. Even though you look at the technical specifications and there's nothing necessarily that stands out. I mean, technically it has extremely high resolution displays. The eye tracking is remarkable, and that's something that has been done on a consumer headset previously. I obviously have high expectations, but I also know that there are some obvious downsides with this product. The battery pack being external is something that I did not see coming. And I even said in a previous video that there's no way Apple would release a headset with an external battery. It's just not Apple. It's not what they do. I thought that they would release something that looks more just like sunglasses or regular glasses at first, and then that would be the AR headset. So I'm actually pretty surprised that they went this whole VR route and created an on-face device that really just looks more like goggles than it does sunglasses. The external battery pack is definitely something that will date this headset, and people will look back on it and be like, man, do you remember when we had to carry an external battery pack around? But it's just like when people look back on the iPhone and said, man, do you remember when we didn't have an app store? Do you remember when the screen was 3.5 inches instead of 6.7 is what we're up to now? So there's always gonna be things like that. And I think that it doesn't ruin the experience, and it's still great to get in on it early. I heard a quote that I liked this morning that says, "This is definitely the future. If you can afford the future now, great. If you can't, it's gonna be cheaper, lighter, even better in the future. But that future is definitely coming," and I totally agree with that. I think that this is gonna be the future. I'll have to wait and see with my actual review, I guess, but I have high hopes for what Apple delivers, and based on the reviews that I've seen this week, and based on everything that I've seen so far, and the way that I know that Apple does things, I think we're in for something pretty special. So I'm gonna head to the Apple Store here in just a few minutes, and then I will see you on the flip. All right, I'm here at the mall, coming up on the Apple Store in just a minute, so get excited. Alright, I cannot stop smiling. I just had the Apple Vision Pro demo. Look what I got right here. I got the Apple Vision Pro and I've got the carrying case, of course. I honestly cannot stop smiling. I'll tell you what, I had pretty high expectations for this thing, and this just blew it away. And I cannot wait to go home, get this set up, and use it some more because I am seriously in a little bit of shock right now. It was incredible. Okay, and of course I got the dog with me. And I can't wait for her to try it out because she equally, I think, will love the experience of this thing. Honestly, let me just give you some initial thoughts. It was honestly, and I've tried VR before. I do not own an Oculus or a Quest, but I have spent a few hours in them. And both times I did not feel the need necessarily to get one. It was unique. It was kind of cool. It did not really blow me away necessarily. The Apple Vision Pro completely blew me away. It was one of those where I almost got emotional looking through the lenses just because of the experience that I just had. So I'll take it back, get it set up, but it was honestly one of the most incredible things. I'm on cloud 9 about the Vision Pro right now, and just incredible. So, like I said, we'll have a comprehensive review later, but I'll come back and give some first impressions. All right, so I'm back from the Apple Store. I have been for a few hours now. And I don't know if you can see this around my eyes, but I definitely have, it looks just basically like a sunburn as if I had just gone skiing today. And that's around my eyes right now. So, and that's because I've had the Vision Pro on for about an hour and a half at this point. To its credit, I started with 75% battery. I now have 20% battery. And that was about an hour and a half of, you could say heavy usage because I was trying out a bunch of things and watching some shows and opening different apps and closing apps and stuff like that. But the battery was, I guess you could say, better than I thought, although I didn't have super high expectations. But this is the Vision Pro, and I have mixed thoughts. Let me tell you my first thought. It's that it's incredible. That's my first thought, is that this device is absolutely incredible. It blew me away. In the Apple Store, I was completely blown away by what this could do. Now, let me try and describe just really high level what it's like to use this device. You put it on, and all of a sudden, in the space that you're in, there are things like your app grid. And it's so mind-boggling. I can't explain it. You have to go try a demo. But it's so crazy to see things and apps just in the space that you're in. And not like on a screen, but just like I had my weather app open over there just barely. I had my music open over here. I had the App Store browsing right here. I had a little widget right here. And the apps themselves are so retina quality that they look so realistic that it's like it's in your space. It's just wild. And I'm just giving a kind of a high level impressions right now, and then I think that I'll give a full review later after I decide what to do with this thing, because I'm a little bit torn. And here's the part that I'm torn on. The apps look incredible. The cameras, to me, were overhyped. The quality of what I actually see of the world around me is not as high as I expected it to be. And not even that I had like this expectation, but as people made it out to be. When I hear that, the pass-through is incredible on Vision Pro, 100%. It's really incredible. And if we want to say, it's incredible compared to other VR headsets, yes, I am full on board with that. It is absolutely incredible compared to other VR headsets. Where I draw the line is saying that it's comparable to reality. You can see I'm in a fairly well-lit room right now. I'm readjusting the camera angle right here just so you can see I'm in a pretty well-lit room, right? It comes up really well on camera. Obviously this is a nice camera, but so is this. You're not seeing any pixelation you're not seeing any grain because it's not lit well enough or anything like that. When I use the Apple Vision Pro in this room, just barely, I see quite a bit of grain. I'm also not really able to read my Apple Watch when it's up at this level. If this is not the case for everybody, please let me know, because that might mean that I've set something up wrong. But I noticed it at the Apple Store, and I noticed it here as well. The reviews and the things that I heard made it seem like you could use your phone, you could use your watch while wearing the Vision Pro. That has not been the experience for me, either at the Apple Store or here. And I know that it's not my eyes, because my eyes are totally fine. Right now, I can see my Apple Watch screen crystal clear. It looks perfect. I can't do this with the Vision Pro. I've noticed that it struggles a lot more with things that are closer to it, which makes sense. I mean, even this camera is gonna have, so you can see that my watch is very clear now, but if I get too close, that's just too close. The lens can't focus on it. So it makes sense, but the Vision Pro seems to have a radius that is farther than I would expect, to where I can't see my watch here, but if I held it out like that, then I could start to see it. But even then, it's not great. I definitely would prefer to take off the Vision Pro if I'm gonna be looking at things on my watch or scrolling on my phone even. It's significantly better without the Vision Pro on. And I didn't think that would be the case. I thought that the cameras would have passed through well enough that you could do just anything that you would do normally, even with it on. So that is the one downside that I've found so far. I will say the apps look incredible. The screens, other than the pass-through, are incredible. The sound is incredible. It's a really, really amazing device. I 100% am on board with thinking this is where the future is going, just because of what an experience it's been to use this so far. And I catch the vision of the Apple Vision Pro for sure, but there's just the pass-through, and it's good, and it's better than other headsets. So if you're wondering about, compared to Oculus or compared to Quest, it's better, but it's not perfect, and that's to be expected. It's a Gen 1 product, but I think that it will be perfect in the future. So that gets me excited about where this is going. Last thing I'll talk about is the weight and the comfortability, and then like I said, I'll do a full review later. But the weight and comfortability, it's definitely heavy. It's heavy, and when you put it on your face, it's heavy. But it's not bad. As far as comfort goes, I think that it distributes the weight really well, actually. Like I said, I just wore it for an hour and a half, and I was not in a position where I was like, I have to get this off my face. My neck is sore, or I'm getting a headache, or, it's too much pressure under my eyes. It was fine. I could have worn it, I think, for another hour and a half. So it was not a problem as far as comfortability and weight goes. It's definitely heavy. The battery bag is also pretty heavy, so I'm definitely glad that that's off of the headset. But yeah, comfort, weight, I'd say it's actually probably a non-issue. It'll get less heavy as time goes on and in future versions. But for those of you that are worried about the weight and thinking, this is going to be so uncomfortable, I can't wear it for long periods of time, it's too heavy, I wouldn't worry about that, honestly. So weight, not as bad as I thought. Camera's not as good as I thought. Screens, just incredible, and the immersiveness of it, just absolutely incredible. So I actually preferred to use it in the virtual environments rather than with the pass-through mode on, just because the virtual environments were so much clearer and they were not grainy at all, whereas my actual world was. So the virtual environments, I did some work on the moon just barely. I watched a movie at this incredible lake. I also played around with all the Disney Plus environments and saw what each of those looked like. You have Star Wars Planet, you have the Avengers Campus, you have the Scare Floor, you have the Disney Plus Theater. It was pretty incredible. I also did the Encounter Dinosaurs. There's a lot. I'll give a full review, but it's a really interesting product. So drop all your questions down below. I will answer those in the full review, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Peace. Gotta go edit this on the Vision Pro right now, actually. I'm gonna edit this on the Vision Pro. It's exciting. Peace.